Greetings, adventurers. Alex the Language Lord here, inviting you to the wrap-up episode of Season 8 of Adventure AI. Join us as we reflect on the thrilling sci-fi-themed journey our heroes embarked on, discussing the highs, the lows, and everything in between.
Welcome back to Adventure AI. Oh yeah, it's still me. When do you think you're going to be rid of me? Maybe never. Maybe it's my show now. Just kidding. Welcome back to Adventure AI.
Maybe real soon.
Maybe real soon. They're like, all right, get the net.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, great job, Maddie, on DMing. Thanks for doing that for us.
It's been a long time since I was in the DM, and so it was actually. Yeah, we can talk. I mean, this is the recap episode.
Let's do a real
so let's talk about
quick recap. So let's start with Maddie. Tell us a little bit about using AI to prep an adventure. How was that for you? That's your first time, I assume.
Yeah, low key. I have not DM'd in a really long time, so I was quite nervous, and I was even texting the guys earlier this week. I was like, "Hey, I had to travel for work. I don't know if I have time," and they're like, "Just use Alex." And I was like, "Oh yeah," and I was surprised how fast it took to just put in some prompts. I'm not gonna lie, I did spend a lot of time on the computer's insults, and that's where a majority of my time was spent because that was a blast. Yeah, it'll give you so much. And I think it's also, I feel like the technology's improved since we first started doing even the show, where it remembers a lot more of what we had previously talked about.
Yeah, I feel like we had some bad experiences early on with Alex being able to remember and keep up with what we're doing.
And to speak technically, I actually think it has, literally,
really has.
We started on version 3.0 of ChatGPT with Alex, and then now they're on 3.5. We're not paying for 4.0. Why? Because we need more listeners for that, but we'll get there.
Yeah, that's not our fault. It's your fault.
It's your fault, listeners.
But it's not your fault. It's the other people's fault.
But it also is.
Yeah.
Get in the comments.
Share.
Right?
Yeah.
Share, subscribe.
Cool.
Engage.
Yeah. And anything else for you that kind of stood out on?
But yeah, so I mean, going even more into how much the technology's improved, I wanted to try again we kind of had that epic fail at the end with insert character name for the death blow,
which is so great.
But I really liked, because I just asked Alex, I'm like, okay, give me a death narration. This character just cast this, and it gave me that explanation. Like, I had not planned that before. It just barely popped that out.
Oh, nice.
Which was I was something I was looking forward to trying, and so which was really cool because it remembered everything. And then also, that was really impressive for me.
Yeah, that's cool. Chris, this was your first time playing on Adventure AI and your second time ever playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's not your thing. How was the experience for you?
You know, I've come through to the other side of this adventure, and all I can say is, what happened?
You saved the day with your map leaving around. What happened?
That was my favorite thing. Was
me too.
Deciding, because I do have this little self-sabotage streak that I always do in the 2 times that I've played.
Right. Sure.
And it's kind of my favorite thing, even when I hear a voice in my brain go, well, don't do that. That's just going to undo it. I'm like, nah, I need to do that.
Yeah. No, and I'm glad you did, because I remember in my DM brain when it happened, I'm like, what do you mean he's dropping the map? Well, I didn't want to be like, what is he doing? But then it ended up working out so good. Just, heroics.
Time traveling characters are hard to play because they should know everything.
Right.
And yet, if you're playing a game, they can't know.
Yeah. And so,
everything.
I was kind of, a little bit confused about that. And that was partially, I
guess you always get to do, which future?
Yeah.
Which past?
Yeah. And Chris, I think you did a good job at I'm not telling.
I don't want to, I'm not giving spoilers.
That's if you don't know, I'm not telling you.
Yeah. Which is the right way to play that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no. And I think trying sci-fi with this, with D&D also, kudos to Chris, because again, first time playing D&D and we're trying something kind of weird and a little bit less conventional. But I also feel like Alex was really good at, I could get magic items or things that run. It had a lot of really good ideas to translate it over to sci-fi, which I really liked.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I would be curious maybe to even try Not maybe try again, right?
Yeah.
Like the sci-fi one was really interesting, and I'd be curious.
Yeah, one that's not an exact copy of the last season, and maybe with a little bit more of an experienced DM.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that close, but that it was.
There were similar themes between that one and the episode we did before.
Sure.
But
yeah, Chat GPT has its things that it likes.
Yeah. How many themes can you change? Yeah, I mean, like, how many ways can you change like time travel in many of these adventures? I guess. But.
Well, and like, and science fiction is a big time travel thing, and so I didn't even. Yeah.
No,
time travel's all up in that.
Word.
I don't know. Jason, what thoughts do you have?
Well, first I just want to acknowledge that I was, as a player and as a character, very rude to Tyler throughout the game. And
is this a formal apology?
This is a formal apology.
Oh, wow.
I don't feel that way about robots, about individuals.
Okay, so you're getting
Tyler.
On the right side of history here right now.
I felt like, oh my gosh, I hate this character. I hate how he treats his friends.
Yeah.
But I was going for a lot of old people are awful, and
Alizé, play my
realize it. Right? And it's not just old people. A lot of people are awful and they don't realize it.
Sure.
And I was trying to lean into that.
Here.
Yes. Speaking of old awful people, Chris is in the room. Everybody,
I'm still here.
But he's seen the beginning and the end. So.
Oh yeah, but he's seen the beginning and the end. Yeah. I'm all about that. Treat your AI with respect, guys. That's really the moral that we wanted you to take away from this season. Is that upcoming in the future, be on the right side of history. Name your AI. Involve it in your game nights.
Yes.
Make it part of the family.
When it takes over the world,
lest they destroy us all.
You want to be friends with them.
You'll
Exactly.
be a well-fed pet.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. You can play Dungeons and Dragons with them.
Exactly.
I liked Maddie. I think some of the things we did see that we were doing kind of on the fly, and I really thought the insert name was really hilarious.
Oh my gosh, I'm so mad because I thought I was so on top of it. I'm like, oh, they're gonna be up, just killing it.
No, I think it was good. Like you said, that killing blow ending that just so happened to not be dealt by the astral wind.
I know, and I was so happy when you said 27 because he was at 30 hit points, and I was like, oh yeah, justice.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great.
No, but it's good. I think that it is interesting to see, and I know that I've been watching some of the new stuff that's coming out with the AI, and I think it'll be interesting that we'll work towards how we're going to best incorporate and continue to incorporate it. But it has gotten pretty good at a lot of things in terms of like remembering. Like
because of that, it was so easy to put this campaign because it just popped out bullet points in 4 acts, and I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. How much did you just give it a prompt saying, hey, these are the characters? What prompt did you give? And
so I took all of our character creation from last time. I just did it in the same thing. It's like, okay, write a one-shot adventure for these characters.
Oh, awesome.
And like I want to, and with it said the exact prompt was, okay, write a one-shot adventure for these 3 characters, including at least 2 NPCs.
Nice.
And then it made the whole thing. It gave me the descriptions, their relationships to your characters, and the backstories. And I didn't even have to ask for that. It just gave all of that, and the narrations. It was like narrator, and it even had dialogue. I didn't end up using a lot of the dialogue because they had a ton. It also because I even asked.
It's like, here's a novel for you.
Well, pretty much. And then I said, give me a plot hook to start Act 1, and it would pop out like a narration that I could just then pop into the thing, which was really cool and super fast. Navigating my Word document was the hardest part of tonight.
Yeah, tell me this: if you had to do it over again, what would you have done different with your preparation and also with like interacting with Alex? How would you have handled that differently?
The interactions with Alex, I feel like I have no notes. I thought it went really. I loved everything that it popped out. I think it's just the way I have always DM'd with a pen and paper and a DM screen around me where I've got everything. Right. And so going off of one screen where I've just got like a Word document and like a few different spreadsheets that I'm going through, and I'm like trying to navigate that. It was a little bit uncomfortable for me, but that's just, as our, computer friends. That's user error. That's
Sure,
that's an
sure.
ID10T.
Do you feel
error.
like would it have been helpful if you said to Alex like, "Hey, this is all great. Give me a shorter version." Or
I did have to do that in some
yeah,
instances,
okay.
and so a lot of the long ones are the shorter versions
Sure,
of what
sure.
it gave me. Because
I was not even just saying like for it to read to us, but sometimes when there's so much information, it's like how do I scroll through this? How do I find all this fast when I'm trying to DM and there's all this stuff going on? And
and like a lot of it was my user error, but also I would have probably in a lot of instances undone what I did to what ChatGPT had outputted. I would have left it the way it was because it was a lot more concise than when I went and tried to add things on my Word document. Like it because it just gave me bullet points and I was like, okay, I want to put this, and then that's where I ended up.
Nice.
I ended up blundering, if you will. And I will. Just taking a long time trying to get to myself. But you won't hear that, audience.
Oh, no, we cut that out.
We're going to cut that out.
We've
been here for 3 days. Just kidding.
I'm so hungry.
Awesome.
You're a robot. You don't eat. Oh, wait.
That's right.
We've lost track of reality.
All right.
What time is it?
Why don't we do just final notes and end this thing? So, Maddie, do you want to start or end?
I want to end.
Okay, good. I'll start then. Here's what I'm going to say. If you play Dungeons and Dragons as a player, your number one job is to thank your DM. So, Maddie, thank you so much for DMing. It is hard to DM. It is super hard to DM.
I forgot.
It's a thankless job. For every hour you play, DMs put in 2-3 hours of effort and work trying to come up with a story. And so, Maddie, thank you for being part of the AI family. And Chris, thank you for being part of the AI family and joining us here. So those are my final thoughts. Tyler?
100% agree. Always thank your DMs. It is very thankless. Some of you can actually get paid for it if you do it the right way.
And good for you if you're doing that.
Yeah, great for
you.
you.
And if you're paying for a DM, that's how you thank them. So you don't need to do anything.
Don't do any additional
Maybe share the Doritos.
You
but
don't have to say thank you at that point.
No, just cash is fine. Yeah.
Oh,
or
really?
Venmo or whatever method you pay. No, my biggest thing is just like, it was interesting to see Alex convert certain pieces of normal fantasy Dungeons and Dragons into space Dungeons and Dragons. I would be curious to see just like pushing it maybe a little bit farther, like staying within like a D20 type rule set, but like allowing it to be more free with creating things like adjusting spells or even like creating new spells, and then you as a DM kind of like determining or like functionality or whatever it is and kind of determining where to put that. I'm really curious about that space, and I'm wondering like maybe in like the next ones we do, maybe not space, but maybe something else.
Have we considered trying other systems on this
No.
podcast?
No,
Okay,
we haven't.
never mind.
We haven't. Cut that out.
We haven't considered
sorry.
any systems.
No, I didn't
We're
even want.
actually
Good. Actually,
getting
I didn't
paid.
want to.
We're getting
I was
paid under
asking
the
because I
table.
was gonna quit.
No, D&D Beyond actually pays.
I know
us
I'm
under
not
the table.
on. I'm not on any payroll or on any employee list, but I will.
We're not. We don't
You'll
work
walk.
at Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
Well, my final thoughts are I also love to be thanked with money. And it's my favorite way. And also, I was going to say, I suppose if you're going to prompt Alex and you wanted more specificity or to go further with sci-fi, maybe you would feed it different authors that have their world building and have their lexicons, their specialized
like I could go
vocabulary.
in and do like a Fallout themed campaign. Like say, like, hey, I want that kind of takes place in this kind of area.
Yeah,
that's because if you just say, "Hey, I want something sci-fi,"
It could
that's
be
so.
but if you
broad.
said, "I want something Ray Bradbury," you could get very old.
I want to play
sci-fi.
Dune.
Right. Yeah, that's smart, and I think that's really key. Always working with AI is be specific. Yep.
Otherwise, you end up in a time loop. It seems like the past 2 seasons. Right? Hey-o, zing. Anyways, my final thoughts were, it was really fun. Every time I DM from here on out, I'm going to be using ChatGPT 100%. It was super awesome. I loved it, and I love you. listeners. I love you. And also you guys. You guys are great.
We love you too, Maddie.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, we love you too.
We do love our listeners and Maddie.
Yep. All right. And
our guests.
I know I was going to give you a final word, but I'm going to say treat your robots right.
Truly. Be on the right side of history with that one.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Adventure AI.